Mark Cuban is ready to strike and Klay Thompson is in his crosshairs. The Dallas Mavericks have been struggling this season, struggling to get any wins against some of the worst teams in the league, struggling to not have the worst offense in the league as we don't have a lot of three-point shooters. And even over the last several games where our three-point shooting has improved, the Dallas Mavericks have one bright spot out of everything going on, and that has been Max Christie, who is now our starting shooting guard and has come up big for us in many games all season long as one of the most consistent players for the Dallas Mavericks. But even if the Dallas Mavericks choose to rebuild for the future or retool for right now, one thing is for certain, Klay Thompson will be traded. And although he has been playing well off the bench, and even in last night's loss to the Memphis Grizzlies, where it was kind of his fault that we lost, he still looked very well off the bench. The Dallas Mavericks could gauge the market for his trade value and see if they can get something in return. So in this video, we're going to take a look at Klay Thompson, see what the reports say about him, what does his future look like for the Dallas Mavericks, as well as go over an article that details why Max Christie is the future. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we are currently sitting at 23,124 subscribers. You know we got a goal of 25K. And if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, make sure you subscribe. But the Dallas Mavericks have been struggling. As we all know, we are currently 5-13 to start the season, and things don't really seem to be getting better. Although after the last several games, if you've been watching, the Dallas Mavericks are starting to make some minor fixes to their offense. Earlier in the season, we had the absolute worst offense while having some of the best defense in the league. But as of right now, one can make the argument that things are getting better. We won in overtime against the Trailblazers. We lost against the Knicks, although that game was very, very close. And even last night against the Grizzlies, which was the second half of a back-to-back, the Dallas Mavericks kept it competitive, but unfortunately in the clutch, which we've been in all season, we fell short. And when it comes to Klay Thompson, a player who hasn't been the best for us to start the season, did come alive in the last several games coming off the bench for the Dallas Mavericks, and even in last night's game against the Grizzlies, where he had over 20 points, shooting 6 of 12 from 3. Even that last 3, which could have sent us to overtime, which was very ill-advised. Overall, Klay Thompson is building trade value coming off the bench. And even when Nico Harrison was here, there were reports and rumors highlighting how, yes, Klay Thompson will be traded, as the Dallas Mavericks will explore Klay Thompson's trade value before the deadline, per Brett Siegel. And like I said, this was back when even Nico was here, where it's no secret that Harrison and the Mavericks front office will explore what returns exist for Klay Thompson before the trade deadline. And we got another report the other day that shows that even Klay Thompson understands that there is a good chance that he will get traded, which begs the question if Klay Thompson is working with the front office to find a new home. Only time will tell till we decide or till we find out what the team decides which direction they want to go. Whether you rebuild for the future, you know that Max Christie is a part of that future. But if you want to try and compete now, then Max Christie is still a better option than Klay Thompson. And while Klay's playing very well off the bench, he's only building trade value to see what you can get in return. But how well has Klay actually been so far this season? If we take a look right here, in 21.3 minutes per game, Klay Thompson is averaging 9.4 points, 2.5 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 0.4 blocks, 0.3 steals, 1 turnover, and 0.8 fouls per game, while shooting 34 from the field and 30% from 3. Saying that Klay's having a down year is an understatement. This is the work of Father Time. Klay Thompson, another year older, isn't getting any younger. No one can defeat Father Time. These numbers are very subpar for Klay, although I do understand that coming off the bench, he has been better for us. But like I said, there is a player that has been a bright spot for the Dallas Mavericks, and that has been Max Christie, where even over the summer, we took a look at how Max Christie should and will be the X factor for the Dallas Mavericks. He will be the difference maker when it comes to games, and we've seen it so far. He's taking on the task of defending the other team's best player. He's hitting those corner threes at a very high efficiency. He's one of the league's best three-point shooters, and he plays for us, which is amazing for us right now and for the future. But how serious is it? Well, if we take a look at the comparison between the two players, yeah, pick a category, and Max Christie is better than Klay Thompson. I mean, on top of that, he's younger than Klay. So knowing that we have a younger version of Klay Thompson, a younger 3-and-D guy who can shoot, rebound, assist, steal, block, just everything better than Klay Thompson, that's good for us. And even though it is a down year for Klay Thompson, the way that he can build trade value is what we see on a nightly basis, and that is just shooting as many threes as you can off the bench. A lot of people have been commenting, I've been seeing it online as well, that players like Anthony Davis have no trade value. And that's not true. Teams will be interested. And even Klay Thompson, who's honestly, on the last leg of his career, this contract will most likely be the last contract for Klay, as next year will be the last year on his contract. And even if it's expiring, some teams will be interested in getting him. Either he can shoot a few threes off the bench, or next year he's off their books and they make a little bit of room on their cap space. Klay Thompson will have some suitors. It's the returns that we are interested in. We need either young players for the future, or we need impact players now that can play better defense and can score better. The Dallas Mavericks have an offense issue, and without Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, our offense isn't really where it should be. And if we can get more players that can generate their own offense or help other players generate offense, that can help us when our best players are hurt. Klay Thompson, again, with all due respect, he's a 5-time NBA champion. He definitely deserves all the respect from the NBA. I'm sorry, he's a 4-time NBA champion. 4-time NBA champion, looking for his 5th ring. He deserves all the respect for the amazing career that he's had and how well he's played for us. In last night's game against the Grizzlies, he was getting chippy with everybody on the Grizzlies, standing up for Cooper Flagg and the rest of his players. So there's no love lost with Klay Thompson. But if the Dallas Mavericks are committed to either rebuild or retool, you may want to move on from one of your older players in Klay Thompson. Then we take a look right here. League leaders in three-point percentage. There's Max Christie right there at 3, shooting 46.9% from 3 on a minimum of 80 attempts. That is the future for the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, we have Cooper Flagg. He is a cornerstone piece for the future. Obviously, the way the season's going, we keep losing games. That first-round pick will be very good for us next year, and that could be another cornerstone piece for the Mavericks. So making sure you have someone like Max Christie who continues to develop, continues to get opportunities to show up in big moments will only benefit this team now and in the future. Then again, no love lost for Klay, but you got to make sure that you can maximize the window that you have if you want to compete now or later. And if we take a look right here, an article came out the other day by Noah Weber titled, "The Mavericks have already found Klay Thompson replacement before even trading him." And the article is as follows, saying Max Christie looks ready to replace Klay Thompson. Christie has been starting for Dallas since the 4th game of the season, and it looks like they have found a long-term starter who can grow alongside Flagg and fit their scheme on both ends of the floor. Wing defense has never been a problem for Christie, as he quickly proved that he is one of the best defenders on the team last season, and his excellence on the end of the floor has been evident this season. Like I said, Max Christie is defending their best players. He's taking those amazing corner threes that almost always goes in. He is the guy that will do everything you need and more. It reminds me a little bit of Josh Green, where he was supposed to be that 3-and-D hustle guy for us, but we do have that in a younger version of Max Christie. But the article does continue, saying he often defends the other team's best guard, and the Mavericks can depend on him to be their defensive stopper for years to come. While Thompson has been playing better as of late, it's clear that his best days are behind him. He signed with the Mavericks to play with Luka Doncic, and now he is stuck on a team with the worst offense in the NBA. This is not what he signed up for. It would make the most sense to send him to a contender that needs more three-point shooting. Trading Thompson would open up even more of an opportunity for Christie to morph into a star, and he may be the sole silver lining from the Doncic trade, with the Mavericks shopping Anthony Davis on the open market. So even if we want to rebuild and trade away Klay Thompson, trade away Anthony Davis, try to get draft picks of young players, you have Max Christie. You have your 3-and-D guy, the right-hand man to Cooper Flagg, the Scottie Pippen to your Michael Jordan. It's right there in front of you. And it's amazing what we're seeing from Max Christie. It's also amazing what we're seeing from Klay Thompson. But a decision has to be made. This team isn't getting any younger. Whether we want to compete now or later, you need youth and you need scoring. And unfortunately, right now, we're a little light on both. But the article does finish up by saying Christie is only 22 years old, leaving plenty of room for him to grow. His off-ball cutting, guard skills, and confidence as a shooter all took noticeable leaps compared to how he performed in the 32 games he played in for the Mavericks last season, and the sky's the limit for him. He has all the tools to be a building block in Dallas with Flagg, Derrick Lively, Brandon Williams, PJ, Kyrie, and his 3-and-D ability will make him a staple in Dallas' rotation as they enter this new era. The Mavericks have nothing to worry about if they trade Klay Thompson, thanks to Max Christie's ascension, and his evolution as a shooter and defender will help make him one of the most underrated young wings in the Western Conference. And the only question that remains is, what do you get for Klay Thompson? What can you get for him? In all honesty, if you could somehow get a first-round pick or maybe even a second-round pick in a young player, you do that. Whether that's a younger player or someone closer to PJ in Gafford's age of 26, 27, even then, that will be good for the Mavericks, but it should be someone to just back up Max Christie, another 3-and-D guy. And we do know that once Kyrie Irving returns and once Anthony Davis returns from injury, the starting lineup could look very different. Max Christie could go back to the bench. We could have a completely different lineup, but if you trade away Klay Thompson, you should definitely get somebody who can do what he does, but is a little bit younger and maybe do a little bit better. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think that Klay Thompson has trade value? Do you think that we could actually make a trade for somebody with Klay? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We'd have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. And as always, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.